What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crafter Hours. This is the stream series where we get together and work on a code project of some sort. And over the last couple of weeks, we've been working on a new excuse me, website in Guix scheme called emaxpackages.com. That site currently is not deployed, so don't try to go there because there will be nothing yet. But we've been working on a site for that, and today we're actually going to try to move closer to having a real deployment of the site by setting up a Guix server configuration that we could use to actually deploy the site at some point, maybe next week, maybe the week after. It really just depends on the time frame of how things go. So I'm pretty excited about this. You know, we're finally getting to a point where we can have the website be online for people to try out and you know, give it a shot, give feedback, etc. But until then, we really need to just get things started on the Guix side, because we haven't done that yet up until now. Like, we haven't actually tried to package. Yeah, we haven't tried to package the site yet, and we haven't tried to set it up in a Guix configuration to run it. So that will be part of what we're going to do today. Let's see. Let's say hello to the people who are here so far. I see Glenn in the chat. I also see Alejandro joining. I don't know if that was because there was a net split right before. Maybe Alejandro's not here. Let's see. If you're on the YouTube side, say hello. Hello to Ashraz. Ashraz says, currently reinstalling my VPS. Yep, we'll be doing that too pretty soon. I've got a VM up on a provider called Contabo, which is, I think, a European provider. Wow, they got really bad reviews. But they are quite cheap, I think. Hey, Alejandro, glad to see that you're here. They're quite cheap for VPS servers. I used Hetzner in the past. Everybody says use Hetzner, but my problem with Hetzner is that they didn't have any way to do like an automatic payment for the server. You had to like go manually pay, or you had to like go top up an account or something like that. And I didn't pay for a couple months because they didn't do automatic withdrawals. And then they started like banning me from the service. They like blocked my account, and I couldn't even resolve I couldn't even pay the invoices that they asked me to keep paying, like the invoices I hadn't paid so far, because they wouldn't let me back into the site. So I had to like have a whole email conversation with their support, and it was not really a good experience. So I have looked for a different provider that has decent quality and you know, decent prices in Europe. And I think Peter turned me on to this one, Contabo. So he installed a Guix server there, and I also did install one there at some point, but I just haven't used it yet. So we may either use that server, or we might try spinning up another one from scratch whenever we actually get to the point of deploying the site. But that's sort of the plan right now. We'll just deploy it to Contabo. I would use DigitalOcean, and I can't remember why I decided not to use DigitalOcean. I think they may be a little bit more expensive, but the offerings on this site are pretty good for the price. So I think that's kind of the reason why I'm sticking with this one for now, at least. We'll see how well it goes. I might have to shuffle some things around if we figure out that the service is not as good as originally advertised. But that's sort of the plan going forward. But we won't get to that today. We will eventually get to that, but we have to get our Guix config ready for that first. All right, so agenda for today. Obviously, first of all, we are going to prepare the site for deployment with Guix. But what does that actually mean? Let me see if I can zoom in the text a little bit here as well. That might be a little bit better. Let me know if the size is too small. So, to get ready for a deployment with Guix, what we need is to package the current site code Alejandro says, is it a stupid question? Maybe a stupid question. Is it necessary to make a Guix package, or is it just convenience? You definitely want to make a package because you need the necessary dependencies for the site to be loaded up and ready to go inside of Guix. So yeah, just because of that alone, we would want to package the site, but it also makes it easier to pull in the site files to host it in a Shepherd service. And you'll see why whenever I start putting that together in a little bit. So package the current site code in Guix, which is not that complicated, I think. Let's see. Set up a server configuration. Let's say a basic server configuration. And then, let's see, set up a Shepherd service to run the Guix app. And then set up an Nginx reverse proxy for the front end. Now, when I say front end, I sort of mean like the, well, let's change that. For what do you call this? I mean, obviously it's a reverse proxy, but you're kind of like making it be the face to the world rather than the actual server app itself, because you kind of want to insulate the server app from the public internet and let the Nginx server do the reverse proxying for a number of reasons. One is you can more easily do SSL certificates, SSL termination on Nginx. Two, Nginx gives you the ability to have different kind of routes for things. So if we wanted to have some static pages that go alongside the dynamic pages, we could easily do that and let Nginx handle the heavy lifting on that so that the Guix code doesn't have to do it. Also, it's easier to set up like a down for maintenance page. You want to swap that in really quick and not have to have the site be running to do that. You have your Nginx front end host your down for maintenance page. So there's a number of reasons why we would want to do that. So set up an Nginx reverse proxy for hosting the site. I guess you could say that. Okay. And try everything out in a Guix container. We're not going to try to run it in a VM. There's really no point in running it in a VM. We just want a container so that we can at least check to see that the site is working as intended, that we can navigate through the pages. Also, we need to find a place or set up a place to host the database file. Because that can't be in the Guix store. We can't just run it directly in the Guix store. It has to be placed somewhere on the file system that's outside of the Guix store, because the Guix store is mounted as read-only. So we'll have to move that somewhere else, usually under the /srv path. I see that used pretty commonly for servers on Linux. You just have like a /srv path where you put all of your files for an application, or maybe your var lib. Is var lib where it goes? It might go under var somewhere. I'm definitely open to suggestions on the path for that, because I'm no expert on Linux deployments. Used to be that, says Alejandro. I believe it. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get started with a basic configuration. We're going to move over to our directory here. So let's see. How do I want to do this? var/db. Trev, that might be right. I agree with that. And /srv is a new thing. Yeah, people seem to be using that more these days. I don't know, where that came from, but I haven't seen it. Let's delete this log file. All right. I'm just trying to think of like where to put this in the folder structure to make it relatively clean. Not in scripts. I'll put in a folder called deploy for now. All right, so use modules. I'm not gonna make this a whole, oh really? Good job, Trev. We're on the same page. All right, so Guix. Guix G expression. I know I'm gonna need that at some point. Let's see, operating system. What is it? A new system. Let's see, operating system. And if you're thinking, am I gonna write this all from scratch? Well, not exactly. I'm gonna write some of it from scratch. I'm gonna cheat by looking at some of the things I have in another file that I worked on for a different site, so that we don't waste too much time. Host name. Why is it not indenting correctly? Emacs packages. .com. So locale would be time zone. I mean, I guess it should probably be just UTC, right? So Linux UTC time zone. It's just plain old UTC, etc. / UTC. Etc. / UTC. Should be right. Keyboard layout. I don't think I need that, right? All right. I'm not sure what things are needed for a container. So let's check real quick. I might be able to take a look at the Guix repository. There was some template files in here somewhere. There we go. Excuse me. Let's see. Not Docker image necessarily. Bare bones. Maybe we can just kind of copy and paste some stuff and just see if it loads up at least. Also, no X toolkit, I believe is what it's called. Use package modules, Emacs. We may need more, but we don't know yet. I don't think we need the kernel arguments. Or maybe, let's call that like admin or something. I know that there's like root also, but I don't really need audio and video on this server. We do need wheel. Okay. Do a little const star there just in case we need it later. Yeah, that looks okay for now. What we kind of want to do is just set up a basic, excuse me, basic container. And see if it runs. So let's pull up an E shell on this. So Guix system container. Oh, come on. Let's just see if it does anything. Use modules, use package modules, unbound variable. Does that come from GNU? Where does it come from? Excuse me. DHCP client service type unbound variable. Let me go and take a look at, I think it says service modules. Yeah, service modules. Any networking service module. Also need SSH. Let's see what that does. Open SSH sans X. I need SSH package as well. See how long it takes to build this up. Okay, that didn't take very long. I think it's running. If we go to the ANSI term, I don't know if we can actually SSH into it though. Localhost? That doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, because that's the way I put it. Ah, excuse me. So I haven't set any passwords yet. If that's the right one. Let me check my own system config and make sure I'm not SSHing into my own system. What does it use to run the container? I think it uses KVM. Not 100% certain about that. It's not a Docker container. It's like a system container, let's say. I don't even know. It could even be like a chroot type thing, but I'm not 100% certain about that. It's nothing that sophisticated. So find file, dot files, David Wills, systems, base, SSH. Okay, so I also have port 2222, so it doesn't really help us very much. I think that Guix system container has, oh, I think I need to turn on networking, right? -N. What else? There's a way to do port mappings, I think. Or if I just use -N, I wonder if it will complain that it can't get access to the same port. Let's try that. See what that does. All right, so new container, we'll sudo that. I saw something there. What was that? Maybe I'm wrong. I wonder if it's going to try to generate the host keys every time. Because I'm not seeing it trying to start the SSH server yet. Because in theory, it would have trouble binding that same port. Let's try the NS enter here. ANSI term. Wait a second now. Okay, we're in the server. Let's see, SSH localhost. Okay, so it's running locally, but it doesn't seem to be exporting the port. Hmm. Yeah, it's wrong. Because we're going to need it to have it. Let's see. Run. Yeah. Kind of weird. How did I do with the Git server in that video? I don't remember. Let's see. We are binding to 2222. Let's just do something different here. Instead of worrying too much about that, let's see if it works at all, right? So Guix system container -n for network. We'll just change the config a little bit. All right, now we'll run it again. Seems like it generated the keys already. I'll go back to ANSI term and try to SSH to S22232. Okay, so it does seem to do something. Yeah, that's not gonna work. So let's try root at localhost, which hopefully shouldn't work because there is no password. Okay, that's good. So it is actually setting up the port. It just didn't complain that 2222 was already being used. Good. Now, we can try to set up a basic Nginx site first. So I believe we need to use service modules web. Let me pull up my cheat sheet on the other screen here. So, all right. Let's star that so that we can not have to have things be drawn out so much. So we got our basic networking services, and now we need to add a service for Nginx. Service, I just drop this down. Feels like it's gonna get too wide. So it's Nginx service type with an Nginx configuration. So let's start with that. Guix Nginx service type. We're gonna pull up the docs and take a look real quick. All right, so server blocks. Nginx configuration, server blocks, Nginx server configuration, server name. I don't know if the server name matters so much right now, if it's going to try to actually bind to that, and if the DNS isn't set up right, then it's going to fail, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens anyway. Server blocks. We're going to use a list here, and we're going to have an Nginx server configuration. We need the listen. Well, let's see. No, we don't need to listen. I was doing that for like a dev build, but let's just leave it the way it is for now. We're not going to set up SSL or anything just yet. We're just going to have it be a plain old HTTP server on port 80 with no SSL for the moment. So server name and root. I think that those are kind of needed for the moment. So server name. That's a list, because it could have multiple names, it seems. Emacspackages.com. We could also say www.emacspackages.com. All right. And then also it needs a root path. We can set that to be serve/http/emacspackages.com. And that's fine. Actually, we don't want that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, whoops. Then, what else? Yeah, we don't need that at the moment. So this might be enough, but to make this work, we're gonna have to place files in that folder path for it to show up. So you can try to put an index.html file in there and see if it works. Let's see. There's also a service, I think. Guix special file service. Let's say special file. Oh, extra special file. Extra special file. Special file service type. Okay. Yeah, because you can put these anywhere, I believe. First element is the special file. I don't know what special files really means. And extra special files, because they're extra special. Oh, is it just wrapping the whole process of setting up a special service, special file service type, file append core utils? All right, let's try that to start with. So a what is what? Service special files service type. And this is just a list of lists, apparently, so we can use a back quote on that. Just messing around. Me too. This is kind of pointless in a way, but we just want to test things and make sure they work. Hit type. There's a, what is it, plain file, text file, mixed text file. And we're just gonna, you know, goof it up a little bit here. That's a great website. Let's ship it. Okay, so in theory, it should drop index.html in that location. I should probably say index.html here, right? Chris says, you should start interviewing for DevOps jobs and tell them you only know how to use Guix. Well, in applying for jobs, I have told them that I use Guix for deployment. I don't really know if that means anything to them. Only, yes, only. All right, so let's try to run this. I need a way to, let's see, dev.sh. I need a way to do a development mode run of this without having to have too much pain. So let's make a little script. Bin sh container equals, and we're just going to run the command to get the path back. Guix system container -n config, or was it server.sem? Server.sem. And then sudo container, so that we don't have to keep running it again and again the same way in the console. So deploy /dev.sh. Oh, what did I do wrong? Failed to load server. Okay. Maybe I should cd into that path. So we're pulling in Nginx now, and let's see if it works. All right, so we're potentially running the container. The container should be going. We see there's some Nginx stuff here. It says test failed. I don't know what that means. I've seen this before too, but let's see if that really matters. Localhost 80. Oh, I'm not binding it to localhost. That may actually have an impact as well. So how about this? For now, we'll say server name is localhost, or should I bind it to Did I have HTTPS somewhere? I don't think so, did I? Let's check. Oh yeah, the browser did that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I don't think that matters. So let's just undo what I did. And go back to HTTP 80. No. Still doesn't. Oh, does it automatically try to redirect it to HTTPS? Because that is super annoying if so. Let's see. I will be a bit more explicit on the listen then. How about we do that? Listen, let's say 8081 so we don't get any conflicts here. That should still be fine. So let's rerun it again. Okay. I see. All right, because I used port 80, it yelled at me, but when I changed the port, I think it is fine now. So let's give it a shot. Localhost 8081. Boom, it works. All right, good. So we've got the Nginx server running inside of the Guix configuration. Let me just leave a note here. Must have SSL binding for port 80 to work. Okay. So our basic test works. So now what we need is to package up the server so that we can load it up as part of the configuration. Weird, the 80 needs SSL. I thought that was 443. Oh, yeah, you're right. 80, 443 SSL. I don't know if it's just like a configuration thing where Nginx tries to help you, because it did yell at me in the output. I don't know if you saw the output text that it said. Shouldn't the host export redirect to port? Well, this is the host. Unless you mean like the VPS host, like if I have a firewall or something. I mean, it could, but maybe it doesn't matter. We're sort of learning the ropes of this at the same time. All right, so let's get back to it. We want to make a package. Now, there's a way to do a local source package for a project. I don't know if I have any of those. Maybe I do have. Do I have the one that I was working on for the System Crafter site? Let's see, Codeberg, System Crafter site. That one right there. Go over to scheme conversion. I think I had a Guix package here, package definition that I can rip off. So we'll just start by copying this. Define a site package, let's say. put expat. I think expat is the right term for that. So Git, we don't really need. Maybe Guile lib we are not using on this one. Fibers we're using, SQLite 3 we're using. Actually, let's just go look at the manifest file. Probably I should merge these so that I'm not duplicating the work. But we'll do that another time. So all of these need to be pulled in. Let me just drop that in and we will clean it up. Up in the packages, package modules part, I'm going to put Guile XYZ here. Probably also need to have Guile as well. And I'm guessing there's like a DB. Let's see, Guix packages by name, SQLite. Whoops. SQLite is the package module. All right. See ya, Alejandro. See ya, Alejandro. I'm having trouble speaking, it seems. All right. Source directory of /source. Chris says there's no better way to keep the packages in one place, like installing the manifest on container creation or something. Well, we don't need to install the manifest. We need to build it all as part of the server configuration. So technically this package definition should go somewhere else. It shouldn't be inside of the server config. I may need to do like a load path thing for that to work correctly. We'll deal with that later though. We don't need Haunt for this. We need to put that to be JSON 3. Let's just take that out actually. JSON 3. Put that here. Hashing comma mark fibers. There we go. Oh, and no X toolkit is not needed. And Git is not needed. All right. I don't know what I was doing that bootstrap part. Let's get that out of there. Source directory. Deploy slash, okay, so it's /source. Relative path. Oh wait, no. That's actually the right way because it's a source path under where the package is pulled out. Okay, so that is a good start. We can try to see if this builds simply by adding it to the packages list, site package. This is not how we're going to use it in the end, but this is how we're just going to try to test it out for a second. Use Control-C, Control-K on that. All right, so what's the problem here? I think I must be missing something. Given that I'm simply listening to the stream, Ashra says I should have used Guix for the VPS instead of Debian. You know, it's a fun thing to do, potentially. But it has its own, you know, challenges at times. Okay, Guix, Git. Yes, you're right. Now we get to have the fun of pulling in all the extra stuff from the package header. So let me pull in a couple of these things as well, like these. And maybe I'll move these up to the top because I just, you know, I like having a clean module expression. Don't ask me why. That's kind of gross. Okay. What else do you need? So yeah, Asher says I would have needed to create my own QCal2 image for the VPS. What I did on my VPS is I used an installer ISO image and booted a new VM with that, and then installed Guix the normal way. Again? Put that in. Oh, XML, expat unbound variable. No. Let me pull the licenses. Guix licenses, okay. Yeah, it's like the chat window is cut off. I need to fix that. All right, maybe it will finally attempt to build now that I've got the other stuff in. Let's see. What don't you like? Get failure while fetching, cannot find repository at deploy. Okay. So current file name, dir name, current file name. Guile parent directory. No. Guile. That's not it either. Path file system. Access stat. Copy file, send file, rename, link, symlink, make dir. Temp file, dir name. Oh. Hey, Peter and Minas Mazar over on YouTube side. So base name, test, dir name. Maybe I need to do dir name twice. Let's see. I'm not sure. There we go. Now it's working. Okay, so it failed to build a container. Let's see, view the build log. What did it do? Let's see. No code for module, term, ANSI color. Ooh, okay, I think that's right. I think we do need guile lib in here. So guile lib. Let's just put that there and try it again. Seems to be doing something. Nice thing is that after the fact, we can go take a look at that folder and see. Cool. I don't even want to run it. All I needed to know is that the site was able to be built. What we can do is go check out /gnu/store/ whenever it loads, Emacs packages. And I think either of these should work, or one of them should be, wait, is it AF2, did we see? I don't want the derivation, I want the actual build path. Let's load that one. Lib, guile 3.0, ccache, site. Looks like okay, it's pre-compiled the various parts of the site code already. That's good. Share, guile, site 3.0, main datastar.sem, site. Why is datastar at that level? Okay, so the code seems to be there. I'm a little bit surprised though. Okay, datastar is there. That's fine. All right, whatever. The scripts path. Source directory, source, okay. So it's building. It's putting the site code files where they need to be, but we also need to make it possible to launch the server process. So we need to have our scripts /start server.sem. Alternatively, we can synthesize a file like this. So let's take a look really quick. In the Guix G-expression documentation, there is a script file, or what's it called? Program program file or scheme file. Program file, returning an object representing the executable store name that runs Gexpression. Guile is the Guile package. Module path, load path. Okay. So you can effectively synthesize a program. Also, there is return an object representing the scheme file name that returns expression. Let me see. Yeah. So I think that's what we can do. If we want to run it, we got to run a Shepherd server. So what we can do is define our own Shepherd service, let's say. Define site service type. That's going to be a service type. Ooh. Service type. Name, site, I don't really know. I mean, it probably should be a little bit better than that, but whatever. Extensions, and this is where we get into Guix service extensions. So list service extension, and we want this to be a Shepherd root service type. And we're going to need to define our own procedure for that. So it's going to be a site Shepherd service procedure. I think that's the only one we need because it's just for that. I'll explain what this is in a second. So, no, that one's done. This needs to be in under here. Default value F. This is for configuration. We don't really have a configuration for it. We don't really need one. So we're just saying false as a default value. Runs the emacsPackages.com site. All right, so what we need now is a procedure. Site Shepherd service, which takes a config, which is not really going to have anything, and then it returns a Shepherd service configuration. Not really a configuration, but a... Well, it is a Shepherd service configuration. So list Shepherd service. Now, we need Nginx to be running for this to launch because Nginx is the front end. So we're going to say requirement, and Nginx is the service type that we depend on. We want to make sure Nginx is running first, I believe. We're provisioning the site, which is sort of just the name we made up. And then to start the server, we're going to use the Gexpression syntax to make a fork exec constructor, which is the pretty typical way that you start a service using Shepherd or a process, let's say, to Shepherd manage a process. So that is just launching, let's say forking a process from the Shepherd process. Now, this is where we're going to use that whole program file thing. So we're going to synthesize a Guile script. We don't necessarily have to do it this way, but it may be the most advantageous way to do it. So program file, this is going to be start server.scm. And then we're going to use another little expression here. This is sort of like unquoting. So this is kind of quoting and unquoting in Gexpression syntax. I'm not an expert on that. It's a little bit weird looking, but you know, this is what we're dealing with right now. So inside, we are going to use modules site server. It's going to basically be the same code as this. So we pull in site DB, site server. In fact, let's just do that. So inside of this block, I'll just reformat everything. Oh, unbalanced parens, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so that's an expression to start the server. We don't really need main though, so we can just take that out and just do it this way. Now for program file, we also need to set the load path. So module path, load path. %sign load path. Return an object representing the executable store item name that runs Gexpression. I want to do this without screwing things up. Let's see if we can do that. Module path. We're going to const the path of the package onto the load path. So I think that the way that works is to, let's see. This may be completely wrong, but we're going to figure it out. So, string append. Let me look for this string append. There's a pattern people use for this. Yeah, look at this. String append, and then we use the package itself. So, site, what is it? Site package. And then we want to put that, well, honestly, should it have already been added? Maybe we don't need this. All right, let's just try it without it first. Let's just try it without that first. And in fact, okay. I keep hedging my words. Let's just see what happens. So since we've got it in the profile already, it should be fine. Okay, so this is a full configuration. Oh, no, it's not full. We need to do the stop directive too. So let me see if I can pull that. Stop, and we're going to use the make make kill destructor, which just kills the process that's associated with the service. And I think that's it. That's like the full configuration. Site shepherd service root type, site shepherd service. Okay, so what's happening here is that we're making our own new service type, and all it does is just define an extension to the shepherd root service type, which is the main system level shepherd service that's managing the system level services. And we're adding our own shepherd service to it through this site shepherd service extension, which is really just a procedure that returns a list of shepherd services to be added to that root shepherd service, right? Does that make sense? So now we got to go add that to our list of services in the system. Service site shepherd service. Is that what I called it? Yeah. Site shepherd service. I don't think I need to give it a config because it already has a default value. So host the site code as a shepherd service. Set up the Nginx front end. All right, let's see if it at least will launch the service, build and run it. Let's say. What did it not like this time? Invalid field specifier, server line 54. 54. I must have missed a paren somewhere. Service type. Let me check. Glenn says, isn't it the proper way to just see what happens? That's the way I do it. I just poke around until things either work or don't work. Let's see, site service type, name, site extensions. Oh, did I mess up something here? Yeah, I messed up that part. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's try it again. Now that I fixed the parentheses. GNU services shepherd, sure, makes sense. So let's go to service modules and shepherd. Another problem here, probably some other stuff I haven't pulled in yet. Provisioning. I think provision. Yeah, provision. Okay. Wrong type argument in position 1. Procedure site shepherd service. That is at 95. Expecting struck. Oh, my bad. Site service type. That was a mistake. I passed the procedure to it instead. Site service type. So it looks for that record type. There we go. Now it seems to be building something. We'll see if it actually starts up the service. It won't be visible yet. But it seems at least that it built it. And I think if we were to go look for the store item for start server.scm, they're right there, start server.scm, then we see that we have a script here that was created, begin, use modules, db update schema, start server. Okay. Oh, I need to set environment variables too because db open's not going to work. That's interesting. So let me think about that for a moment. Is there a way to set the environment variable env? I guess I could do it directly in the code, right? Because, or as a system level environment variable. So Guix environment service type. That doesn't work though, does it? That probably has to be at a service level. I'm thinking of Guix Home. So there was an environment variable that I was using. In db.scm, site db file name. So let's just set that. We're going to set that to var db emacs packages.db. I guess we kind of need to create that path though first. So back in file system for Guile, make dir, there's no make dir p. If mode is omitted, then permissions of the directory are set to 0777. Probably need to do a little bit better job of this. Let's see, file exists, directory exists. Okay, file exists. Unless file exists, I'll check the DB path. This will have to be cleaned up at some point. Okay, there you go. That should make it. We'll have to jump into the container to see if it actually gets created correctly. And we're setting this site.db file name because that's the environment variable that we've defined for overriding the database path, so that we can have the code look for the database here instead of where it was before. Where, I mean, in the local path of the application code. All right. And it should be running. In fact, we should be able to see it, Peter. We should be able to see the let's see. Okay, 8080 is not working, which is interesting. Let's use ns-enter to take a look inside of the container. I want to see if the service is running or not. So if we go back to ANSI term, we should be able to go into ns-enter ls var-db. Okay, var-db already exists. Maybe we don't need to try to bother with that. Let's just take that out. But our database file is not there. Herd status. Stopped site. Okay, so the site Guix daemon log. How do I set up logging? So Guix shepherd log. There's got to be a way to get the logs for a shepherd service. Dev log, writing them, system log configuration. Message has nothing? That doesn't make sense. Maybe I need to have maybe I do need shepherd system log service type. Would that not already be there? I mean, there is stuff in var log. No. Okay, maybe this is it. Oh, no code for module site DB. All right. Interesting. Now we can see what's going on here. It's trying to load up the site DB module, and it's not finding it, probably because the load path is not set right. Let's go back here there any example of load paths? Emit code in the resulting file to set load path and load compile path to honor expressions modules. Look up expressions modules in module path. Need an example of that. Because in theory, the load path should have been modified already by... Let's see, build system for Guile packages that consist exclusively of scheme code and are so lean that they don't even have a make file. Compiles the scheme code using Guile compile, installs SCM and Go files in the right build place, in the right place. So what if I echo Guile load path? So ls run, well, let's just ls Guile load path. Site is in there. Come on. db.scm is in there. Okay, fine. Seems like they should be working, but... So the code is there, and it's in the load path. It's kind of interesting that it's not not finding it, unless it's irrelevant. Like maybe the profile load path isn't relevant, and you have to set it anyway. I wish I had a good example of this. Maybe if I go into the Guix repository, I can find something. Find regex module path. Derivations, remote. Percent load path seems to be special. It may be necessary. Let's give it a shot. I'm kind of like dancing around the issue because I'm not 100% certain the right way to do it, but GNU store Emacs packages. So share Guile site 3.0. Right. It's this path right here. That's the one that I need. So it's this subpath of whoops. Share Guile site 3.0. Feels kind of wrong to hard code that, but don't really have a choice at the moment, I think. We'll go right in here and module path const. We're going to pull out I'll go back in here. File append. Cool. Wait. Same effect can be achieved. Got it. All right. So this is going to be const string append hash dollar site package share. What was that? Share Guile site 3.0. And that was load paths. Load path. Let's see. I must have forgotten to close off something here. Okay. Let's try to build it again. Here. G expression unbound variable. I must not have done this in the right place. Ah, right here. Okay. So in that case, where was it that we saw that? Scheme file, define module. File append. That's in the script. I don't think that module path works like that though. Unless I can do it inside here, which feels really dirty. Guile add to load path in code. Okay, add to load path. Yeah, it just feels a little bit dirty, but maybe that's a solution. Add to load path. And that's just a string. Yep. So we can do this, in fact. Take this out. Okay. Let's see if that builds. Let's see. Do I want to specify the file where the logs go to? Yeah, I must have missed some text in the chat. Currently, the issue is trying to get the server to run by setting the load path correctly. And we're about to find out if I was successful on that. Let's try once again loading this page. Nope, that's not working. So we're going to use ns-enter one more time to go into the server and see if the Shepherd service launched successfully. My guess is the answer is no, but we will get to see the content of the code. In fact, GNU store start server. Come on. I don't know if it's that one. String append. Oh, I shouldn't have put the slash in the front. Oh, no, it's fine. So MD7. QIN. There we go. That one. Slash share slash guile slash site slash 3.0. That gets added to the load path. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go into the ANSI term. Herd status. Site is stopped. Cat var log messages. Still no code for modules. Oh. That's because I did something really dumb. And I added to the load path before I called use modules, or after I called use modules. So the course is not going to find that. Okay, I think this one should work because it does seem to be producing the right path. The other interesting thing is once I get this working right, I can take site package out of the packages list for the profile. Because it's now being referenced somewhere else. Little Guix thing there. Back to eShell. We're gonna kill the container. We're gonna run it again. All right, let's see if it's running this time. Still not running. Let's do ns enter one more time. This whole process of like having to jump into the container this way is kind of annoying. I wish it wasn't necessary, but at least it's diagnosable to some degree. Oh. So, check the messages. No code for module SQLite 3. Interesting. Damn. Why is it not getting the whole... It seems wrong. Something seems wrong about that. I feel like I'm missing something important. So I'm gonna take a 2-minute break and I'll be right back. We'll think about this a little bit more. All right, be right back. Alrighty. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT off cam. Come on, Trev. You know me better than that. Hey, Cal. Fast Furious says, I spend a lot of time configuring Emacs, but I use it mainly for org mode. For programming, I try to use an IDE. Is a better fit for me. Well, that's great. Hickory says, I'm going back to Emacs again for the I don't know how many times. Well, you know, it tends to be like that. Emacs will keep dragging you back in because there are just certain things about it that are better than other programs. What can I say? Okay, so trying to think of the best way to diagnose this problem. Because this is one area of Guix that I'm not really an expert in, is how to set up Guile programs to be run correctly. When you build a profile, a system profile, and by profile I mean it's a full system configuration. The module path, the load path, is supposed to be set up correctly. If we echo Guile load path, I should be able to look for SQLite in here and find it, and I do. SQLite 3.sem is in there, so that is the actual load path. But I guess whenever you build a program, it's not necessarily picking up the environment variables from the profile. So I'm not sure how to synthesize the right load path for everything. For the program, let's say. Let's see, deploying a Guile server with Guix. I don't know if anybody else has this. Managing servers with Guix, a tutorial. Let's see. Managing servers, Guile. No. Can't load modules downloaded with Guix. Sure, not really the right thing. Guide to software development with Guix. I think that was a good blog post on the Guix blog. Let's see, load path, module. Recursive T. Repositories channel. CI, manifest. Yeah, that doesn't help us really either. Running your website with Guix system. I feel like I've seen this post before. Yeah, root sample website. That is one way to do that too. Running cget. Okay, that's not really it either. That's a pretty useful page though. We can kind of keep holding on to that one. All right, so back to the problem at hand. The problem is that the load path is not being constructed correctly. Is it that I need to put these as propagated? Or are they already propagated? No. Inputs. I mean, maybe, can I say propagated inputs? Will that help? Let's see. What that does is it's supposed to set them up in the profile, but they seem to already be there. So I don't know if it's going to make a difference. Hey, Zirka. I can ask AI? No, I'm not going to ask AI. AI is not great with Guix anyway. All right, let's run it again. Okay, got a little error here. What's that? Conflicting entries for Guile JSON. Okay, so propagating it is a bit of a problem. Maybe that does make sense then. And who's using... Why was I using 3 anyway? 4? Okay, fine. Let's just see. So far, it seems somewhat happy. Let's see what happens. Okay. Still not being loaded. Makes sense. Doesn't make sense, but you know. We haven't really diagnosed the true underlying issue yet, so what can I say? Still no code for module SQLite 3, so making them propagated inputs did nothing, which is not a huge surprise. All right, let me think about this for a second. There's a way to set module paths on something else. There's like the build phases. Set paths. Okay, environment variables for input packages. There's also some module path stuff somewhere. Let's look at the index. Imported modules for G expressions. With imported modules. From what? Sometimes you want to be able to use certain Guile modules from the host environment in the G expression, so this module should be imported into the build environment. Not exactly, though. With imported modules form allows you to express that. Automatically pulled into the isolated build environment. Sometimes you want the closure of the modules to be imported. The module itself and all the module it depends on rather than just a module. Yeah, that's not exactly the same thing. With extensions. I mean, you want to import not just pure scheme modules, but also extensions, which are C libraries. Okay. Modules is deprecated in favor of with imported modules. The meaning is to make modules available in the evaluation context of the expression. Modules is a list of names of Guile modules searched in module path to be copied in the store, compiled, and made available in the load path during the execution of expression. Is that right, though? Maybe it's right. Can't point to packages, though. Properties, invars, modules. Oh, invars. Okay. That's only to derivation. System, current system. Let's check the script too, actually. Start server. All right, so we've got the straight path to Guile, and we need to look at another one too, because that wasn't enough. I think it's not our latest. Start server. Doesn't even let me type. Let's do the G one here. Okay, cool. So that's fine. Set in DB file name var e. Oh, okay, yeah, that's before we even set the load path. Fine, whatever. I'm trying to think what else we can do here. Imported modules of G expression are looked up in module path. Okay. Imported modules of G expression are looked up in module path. Okay, I think I'm going about this all wrong. There's some kind of, where is it? Program file, scheme file, return an object representing the scheme file name that contains expression. Text file, mixed text file, file union, file append, G expression to script. Okay. So it could be like this. We could try to make it simpler and try to just defer. Guix, well, build phases, copy. There's another thing I can do. So like after, which build system am I using? I'm using Guile build system. Guile build system, phases. What phases do we have? Standard phases. Delete bootstrap, delete configure, replace build, delete install, add after build. All right, so if I were to add a phase after build, so phases, not standard phases. I want the Guile build system phases. Oh, standard phases is being here, but is it exported again? Standard phases. Okay, so Guix build, Guile build system. I'm already pulling that in. Wait, hold on. Guile build system. I would have to pull in at the actual Guix build. To get that standard phases. Okay. So what am I doing right now? I am trying to modify a build phase for the package to copy the start server script, so I can try to launch it directly, because my assumption is if I run the script through that, then the correct dependency should be set up whenever it gets executed. So I'm trying to change the approach I'm using here. So instead of doing this program file that I was doing before, I mean, technically I could still do it. I would do something more like this, G expression to script, and just have it launch the program instead, the script directly instead. I need to fix the load path though. See ya, Ashras. All right, so system, file, append, site package. Try that. Let's take the whole program file thing here, comment that out for now because it's kind of a mess. I think we got enough time to make this work, so let's just give it a shot. Okay, so start server. Hey, Luis. It's going. It's going. Not fully there yet. I mean, we're not deploying yet anyway. We're just trying to set it up in a Guix container to make sure everything's running. And we hit kind of an issue getting the Guile program running with all dependencies loaded up. All right, so now we're going to try to run the server. And yes, we need to update the build. In fact, let's take site package out of here so that it doesn't get confused anymore. So we're pulling it in directly now. In the package, we need to add a build phase, which we had started doing. Modify phases, standard phases. We have something for this here. Add after build. Place bin files, let's say. Lambda star. Let's see, suck ref outputs. That right. I need to. That's right. That's right. Still a deployment, being reproducible is one step closer to production. That's right. Build utilities for more helpers. Let's see, copy, install file, create directory if it does not exist, and copy file under the same name. There we go. Here's an example. So replace install, lambda, key outputs, allow other keys. Good. Got it. So this is effectively the pattern we need to follow here. All right. So string append, outputs out / bin. We're going into the bin folder. We're installing the file. One second. All right. Install file scripts start server.sem. Now, the problem with start server.sem is that it adds source to the load path, and maybe that's okay. It also adds listen. We kind of don't want that. But that's okay. Let's just leave it for now. Let's see if it just works, okay? So scripts / start server sem. Romulus says, trying a no package config challenge. Some things are incredibly hard to give up. Yeah, you get used to it. I've gotten used to not using a lot of stuff from community packages. Okay, let's see if this actually works. We're gonna put it under the bin path. That's good. Let's exit out of the container. We're gonna go back into eShell. We're gonna rebuild this thing and see if it crashes. Seems to be running. We're building Emacs packages okay, things seem to be there. That's not running still. That's fine. Not a huge concern on that. I need to check the derivation that was just built. So CVB. Oh God, I can't even type because of the lag of loading that folder up. That was CVB, this one right here. And the output file is ls9. So if I just... actually, so find file at point. There's a bin path, and there's start server.scm, and it looks like the right file. So we know that the file got placed under bin, okay? So let's go into the container and check what's in there. Okay, so cat var log messages. Oh, it didn't even write anything out. I wonder what happened. Herd status. Is site running at all? I don't see site at all. Did I screw something up? Would it not have complained to me if there was a problem? Let's look for GNU store. Is there one without an SCM on the end? Okay, maybe this G expressionist script is not working correctly. Maybe I needed to unquote that. Probably need to unquote that. Yeah, I bet that's why it's not working, because it's invalid. So I should probably go back to program file. Site service.scm, let's call that. I don't know, just to have it make a different name. And program file site service, we don't need anything special for that. We're just gonna call into system who launched the server. All right, let's give it a shot. I think we'll eventually get there. So far, it's a little bit annoying, but and we'll be able to check site service.scm to see if it gets built too. So let's check GNU store site service.scm, and just trying to load this start server, find file at path or at point. That file does exist, so that is wired up correctly in theory. Still not loaded though. So we'll have to go back into the environment. This is PID 11185. Oh, there we go. So cat var log messages. Anything in there? No code for module site DB again. What a pain in the ass. So that doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, because the script file, in theory, should have been set up in a way that it has everything it needs. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Trying to think of what other code I can look at for this. All right, Guix Savannah. Why am I going here? Well, you'll find out. I want the Git repositories. Come on now. It's not here. This is just a curious project. There's all the service for managing Guix builds. A lot of stuff in there. What is all this doing? It's insane. Is it just command line parsing? Must be command line parsing. I guess it makes sense to use match for that. Agent. Yeah, we're just sort of barking up the wrong tree here, I think. What is switch? Sensible database change management. Haha, interesting. Database migrations. Framework-free development and dependable deployment. Sounds like that's a kind of a generic solution for database migrations. I mean, that's kind of cool. I wonder if it does it based on changes to SQL files via commits. Because that would be kind of interesting as an approach. Huh. I'll have to keep that one in mind. I've never heard about that before. Interesting. Oh, did I lose? No, okay, there we go. Clearly, I need to be talking to Chris Baines about this stuff because he's done a lot. What is this knots thing? Patterns for using fibers in Guile. Now I'm totally off track, but I'm curious. Site's pretty slow though. Well, I'll keep an eye on that one for later. All right, anyway. The load path is continuously the issue. When you install the program, in the profile, it's not, the dependencies are not visible to the script whenever it's being executed. And I don't know if I'm causing that somehow. Trev says, what about the Guix website where it deploys Haunt? I don't know. Because it's only Haunt. I don't know if they're just deploying files via rsync because they're static. I was looking for that. Actually, let's see. I can still look in the Guix project for the Kira service, maybe. Or the package. Let's look at Artanis real quick and see what it's doing in its stuff. Oh, they're changing their imports somehow. Modules, imported modules. Gal build system, imported modules, make flags. Oh, wrap program. Okay. That might be the problem. String append bin. Let's look at that real quick. That's probably the issue. So, wrap program. All right. So, it's not unusual for a command to require certain environment variables to be set for proper functioning. So you can use wrap program to do that. Examples include a Guile program that assumes all its modules are in Guile load path and in Guile compiled load path. So give me an example, please. Wrap the script program such that variables are set first. The format of variables is the same as the wrap program procedure. This procedure differs from wrap program in that it does not create a separate shell script. Instead, program is modified directly by prepending a Guile script, which is interpreted as a comment in the script's language. All right, I think that's the key. Let's also take a closer look really quick here. So string append out SCM. SCM, that looks right. Site Ccache. Okay, it's doing both those things. How many times did they do that inside this? There's a few times people are doing this. So Nomad's doing it also. Guile load path. Get env. Guile load path. Prefix. This seems a little bit dirty though. I don't like the way they're doing that. But let's see. What other program is this? This is Guile GitLab. GitLab CLI. Prefix is what? Where is prefix? Prefix. Prefix. That's like special syntax? Where's that coming from? Maybe it is. Is wrap program a syntax? No, this is a procedure. That's pretty weird. Okay, wrap program, guile load path, prefix, string append, out SCM. And the compiled object cache, the JSON. Are they really having to do all this manually? That would be a huge headache. That can't be right, can it? What program is this? Guile SMC, wrap program. I mean, it seems to be a very common pattern here. Whatever you need to put in, you basically have to manually add them to the load paths for the programs. Art wants effective version, target guile effective version. Sure, fine. Why has Ben in here? Oh, right. Got it. Okay. I don't like that. What build system are they using? GNU build system. Huh. Guile lib. Input guile lib. Shit. Okay. That sucks. Let's go back to our server then. It makes sense. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it makes sense. I don't like it. All right, so inputs, outputs, out, in. So how many dependencies do we have here? We have a few. So basically all of these now have to be manually inserted into the load path. So I'm gonna have to just jump right in here, drop that in. So guile lib we are already taken care of. Jot, JSON3, fibers, SQLite 3, hashing, common mark, fibers. Oh, we got fibers twice. That's fun. Wow. What was that? Next is JSON3. I think this needs to be guile JSON, actually. Next is SQLite 3. Next is hashing. Yeah, this is a real pain in the ass. Every time I add a new dependency, I'm going to have to make sure I add it into this whole mess of paths. Common mark. And then I believe fibers is the last one. All right. All right, so string append. I don't know why it was written like that. That seems really gross, but fine. Why is there a T at the end? Okay, something else. JSON3, SQLite3 hashing. Oh, come on. Hashing common mark fibers. Okay, and then we're going to just take this whole list of expressions, drop them in right here, and change that SCM to Go. Reason why is because we need the compiled object files for the libraries to be in the compiled load path. All right, so that is fine. Not DSV. This needs to be site. What did we call it before? We called it site. No. Hold on. Let's think about this for a minute. Wrap program, string append bin. I think, hold on. DSV. Site service, okay, service.scm. So we're wrapping the bin that we've already created. Bin is in the output path. So I think this needs to be, wrap program needs to come after place bin files. That's not right. Start server.scm. Got it. All right, so let's do this first then. So start server.scm, we're putting it in the bin path. Start server here as well. That looks right. All right. What a mess. That took a while. I may have to consult with some Guix experts on that to make sure I'm not doing things in a really stupid way. And we're going to check the output of the build for that right after we let this start up. We'll just check to see if the site, yeah, the site didn't load still. Let's check the derivation. So find file at point. We're going to find file at point on this one as well. We're going to check out the bin path. We're going to check out the start server SCM Guile load path. Okay, so it is setting up the load path for the things we asked for. So Guile load path, Guile load compiled path. Oh, is this treating it as a script file? Yes, okay, that's fine. That's not a big deal, I think. And then the real file is here, which is the actual scheme file. Let's see then what is in the server itself. So it's running as PID 15367. Hmm. Site service running. Start server, no such file or directory. Huh. Is that right? What's there? Let's see. I mean, we were just there, right? Hmm. That's really interesting. Let's see. So why does it say that it's not in there? Let's look at the server config one more time. So I think that we made progress on that. So let's just get rid of this whole thing. I'm trying to make sure that I'm pulling this in the right way so that the, I mean, it seems to be working, right? Like, the site service file is being generated, clearly. It's clearly being generated with the correct path in it. We saw it. We looked at the files. The paths are all there. They're represented correctly, but for some reason, it is not able to execute it. It says no such file or directory. Oh, you know what? What else could it be? No such file or directory sounds kind of strange. Like, what else would be the reason for no such file or directory? Like, it can't run the interpreter for the script? Do we still have those up? Site service. I mean, that one's encoded correctly. What about the, what was the other file that we had? It was the site service. Man, this thing is so slow. I don't really understand what's going on here. Like, I'm trying to move around, and I think just because I'm in the store path, it's completely choking every time I do anything. Site service.scm, that's the one we're in right now, isn't it? So the right interpreter is being set up. Everything should work. Start. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on here? Unless I should not call it .scm. I don't know if somehow that's causing a trouble. Wait, what? 1LM. Oh, wait. Is that right though? So let's see. I don't see this path anymore. Okay, it's there. Interesting that it actually has this be false at the top. I don't know what that means in terms of scheme. It's like, oh, you know what? Hold on. Is that supposed to be the Guile interpreter path? Ooh. Okay, that could be the problem. Okay, no file, no such file directory. That's got to be it. Who's responsible for that? It says exec A. Wrap program. Maybe I should take the SCM off the file name. I wonder if it's getting confused somehow. It's got to be. All right, let's get rid of that. Start server. Did I know that there's JetBrains Sans already? I didn't know that. I like JetBrains Mono. Okay. We're almost there. I keep saying that. I just have a suspicion that the extension is causing an issue. Somehow. I could be wrong about that. Did I make a mistake? Install file, script server.scm. Install file. Install file. Can I change the path? File directory. I guess I could rename the file. So Guix rename file. That seems weird, right? Or move. Wrap. All right, wrap program. Oh, SH. Location have been bash. Yeah, what the hell's going on with that? Should it not already just pull it in? Kind of feel like I shouldn't have to tell it the path to the shell interpreter. Guix packages by name, SH. I guess bash is probably enough, isn't it? I don't know why it says SH here, though. All right, bash, that is in what module? It's in the bash module, of course. So let's go load up the bash package module, wrap program. I mean, who has to do this? That's in the let. This is in the lambda. Then add after. It's in the wrap program call that we want. So let me just do that real quick. So just go back, forward, drop down here, sh. I'm gonna say that's bash. I hope that's enough. Oh, and let me fix what I changed. Because that didn't work before. Another error. Let's find the build log. Unbound variable bash. So GNU store bash. Come on. There we go. Bin sh. So that's string append, I believe. Am I still in? This doesn't make sense. Why should I have to do that? Which bash? Weird that they had to do this. Native inputs, which? That's like the only place where it gets pulled in. Seems wrong that we even have to bother with that. What are the package dependencies? Inputs. Okay, you have to have bash as an input. That's kind of strange, dude. I just don't get it. Okay, let's try it. $151, missing closing parens, check parens. Sure. Yeah, I think that was the one. Okay, it's building again. Another error. Oops, not that. Match, no matching pattern, SH. Do I have to put SH first? Try it again. Yeah, this is probably the most boring stream out of all of them so far. Just trying to struggle with getting Guix to work. I imagine there's an easier way to do this, and I just haven't located it yet. Still not loading. What's the PID? PID is 2180. All right, so cat var log messages. Unbound variable start server. That's interesting. In site service. What does that mean? Okay. So back to find file at point. Setting everything up. Let me make sure that it's getting the actual load path for the, okay, Emacs packages share Guile site 3.0. Got that, got that. And it's telling me service site started, service site running with value. Start server real failed, no code for module gcrypt base 64. Unbound variable start server. No code for module gcrypt base 64. That's pretty weird. So, I take this to mean that I have to also add the load paths of all transitive dependencies of the libraries that I'm using, because that would be a huge headache. I really do not want to do that. There's got to be a better way, because this just seems so wrong. Thinking. Okay, so that part got fixed now. That's all good. The shell path, it definitely is fixed. Start server is not executing correctly, I think only because the gcrypt library is not being found. If I were to go look up Guile hashing, I'm pretty sure Guile hashing is the one that is causing the problem here. So if I look up Guile hashing uses... Okay, not that. Maybe it's JOT. Guile JWT. Guile gcrypt. Okay. So Guile gcrypt is in the mix. I also need to fix Guile JSON. Yeah, I don't like that. But in the interest of getting this working, how about we just go and try and see if that's the last thing that needs to happen. So Guile gcrypt. Whoops. And then go to the inputs and put it there too. Guile gcrypt. Let's see if that's enough. Go back to the E shell. E shell. E shell. I really need to fix my completions because they're killing me. All right, build it again. Lou says it's still in the beginning, but can Guile apps be built into a single binary? Can those libraries be packaged with a build? No. Oh, gcrypt probably needs a module path. No. What's happening? Guile gcrypt unbound variable. There must be a symbol. Yeah. And which one is it? No, it's Guile gcrypt, but it's in GNU PG. Okay. So up here in packages, we're going to go forward over to GNU PG. Hopefully that will build now, and we can move on. As soon as this thing runs successfully, I mean, okay, this is the last thing I'm trying. If it doesn't work, stream's done. If it works, stream's done. So either way, stream's done. I can't spend more time on this right now. Let's see. We got a derivation failure. Unbound variable Guile gcrypt. And why is that? That's when building the derivation, which means it must be happening here. Oh, because I'm an idiot. Sure. I really hope that's the only one. The only transitive dependency I have to bother with right now. Trev says we'll edit this in post and make it look like Guix is easy. Well, good luck. I've tried it. All right, so at least it built this time. Oh, finally, thank God. Jeez. All right, that's running from inside the container, which means that the site has been packaged and it's actually launched and running. Right on time, too. All right, let's just take a look inside of the container this time. 22612. Cat var log messages. Syslogd started service SSH daemon. I don't see it saying that site got started, but let's say herd status. Site is running. So it is running. I mean, clearly it's here. There's no packages. Let's see if the DB file is there. ls var db. So the, oh, right. We haven't set the, I'm surprised it's not crashing. But this is a good place to set that environment variable that we need. So, site db, what was it? Site db file name would be var db emacs packages.db. I don't really think that's going to work though. Also, I need to go back to the wrap program docs. Wrap program foo. Where are these things documented? Because it's they have some embedded syntax here that doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's just say equal. I just want to see this work real quick. And then we'll be done. For real this time. I want to see it put that site DB file name in the script. The environment variable, let's say. And let's check the derivation path of Emacs packages, first of all. And then jump into the folder here. Bin. Start server SCM. Site DB file name. Okay, it did seem to export that correctly. Is the site still running? Where is it? Okay, site still is running, which is good. Did it actually create the file, I wonder? So if we go back, what is the PID? The PID is 23773. Emacs packages.db. Who owns that? Root. Okay, fine. So the file exists. There's stuff in there. It has been initialized. The database has nothing in it because nothing's been synced. That makes sense, though. We haven't actually populated the database for the first time. I don't know if that's something that needs to be like a post installation step, but we probably should think that through. But anyway, at least what we can say so far is that we have a working configuration that can run the server. Now, the thing we did not finish is getting Nginx to forward everything across. Let me just see if that's an easy thing to do really quickly. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Just to make this work, in server blocks, after root, there is another thing called locations that you can set up, which is a list. Nginx location configuration. That's going to be URI. This is some stuff that I took from somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. I think I must have been looking at Nginx docs. Body. Proxy pass. This is how you're going to do a reverse proxy. HTTP localhost 8080. Okay. That's how you do the reverse proxy to the local Guile server. And then another Nginx location configuration. And that's going to be for the URI of slash, basically everything under the root of the website, body, try files, backend. And this configuration should reverse proxy everything through. I have some other stuff here. This whole backend thing, I mean, this may not be necessary. I could probably just get by with doing this. I had this other thing here in case I needed to serve static files, but maybe for this particular site, it's not necessary. So we could try to just remove that for now and see if we can live without it. So if I go back into the eShell, let's run this again. Let's see if it builds. Okay, so we know that the 8080 works. So let's try 8081. Oh, it works. All right, so the reverse proxy does work. In a real deployment, this would be port 80. But right now, we are actually proxying everything through Nginx over to the backend, which is running on port 8080. So, okay, we got it working. I feel satisfied at least that the goal of the stream today was accomplished, where we made a server configuration that runs in a Guix container that is able to package and launch the Emacs packages website and host it behind an Nginx front end that's working as a reverse proxy. That is a good start for being able to deploy it later. We still need to figure out the approach for pre-initializing the database. And you don't want to do that every time. So we might need a clever script that is able to only sync the repo data the first time when the database did not previously exist. And then after that, it may need to be like a manual process of syncing repo data or like a background job. So we could figure that out another time. And I think I can get rid of this special file service thing now as well. All right, that's good enough. I'll check in this configuration so people can take a look at it if they want to see the horror of managing all these library dependencies and making a wrapper script that sets up the load paths correctly, because that was a pain. And if you happen to be watching this and you know better about this than I do and know a simpler or cleaner way, please feel free to send a pull request or just let me know, because I don't like this approach, but it appears to be necessary, at least for now. All right, folks, thank you very much for being here. Excuse me. Thank you very much for being here today. Appreciate your time and attention. Thanks for sticking with me through the boring, mind-numbing process of getting this package working. And until next time, happy hacking. See ya.